People who give job interviews, what are some subtle red flags that say this person won't be a good hire? I once interviewed someone who told me she technically wasn't allowed to be in the building because someone on another floor had a restraining order against her. I was hiring someone with web development skills. Asked a candidate to tell me about a time they encountered a critical error and how they fixed it. Their response, well, I was on our website and noticed some information was out of date, a critical error, so I told the web development team we needed to update that critical error. Candidate submitted a take-home test by email. They forgot to excise the text of the email reply chain with their buddy, in which, if you scrolled far enough you could see, A, their buddy helped them with the test, actually, buddy did most of it, and B, the two of them weighing up the finer points of a drug deal they were participating in. Till that Five Guys provides extra fries and piles them into the bottom of the bag, so customers think they got a great deal, albeit this is already calculated into the total price. Jerry Morrell, its founder, claims it's better for customers to feel that their serving of fries was too large. One time I went to Five Guys and a lady actually complained about the extra fries. She got angry with the staff saying, "I didn't order all this." I'm guessing it was her first and last time eating their grinning squinting face. He is right. Even though I know this, I always feel like I got extra. Bag fries are usually the best anyway. Oh yeah, I walk out of there having paid twice or three times as much as its competitors thinking, what a great steal on the fries. Potatoes are also the cheapest part of the Five Guys menu. Those who currently work in us federal government, what's the is current mood like? USPS. Waiting for the eye to look upon us more directly. It's not just government workers. Government contractors are in trouble. The US government is the country's largest employer. HHS, bleak. This mess has brought my team together, as we are sharing memes and information through text, so that's nice. Despite what this administration thinks, all we want to do is our jobs. Help out our stakeholders, protect human and animal health, and provide service to the public. But, we are now sitting in meetings having to decipher all of the memos and EOS and trying to prevent panic. Civil service can be demoralizing on a bad day, but this has gone above and beyond. IRS agent here. Not great, Bob. Not great. Till the human body can naturally settle into a sleep-wake cycle of up to 50 hours, when there's no day/night cycle to observe. In 1962, geologist Michel Siffre entered a darkened cave, where he planned to remain for 2 months, tracking time assuming one sleep equals 1 day, but he was off by 2 weeks. Vsauce did a somewhat similar sleep experiment. Michael lost all ability to track/estimate time, and started to go a bit crazy. NGL, the 25 to 26 hour cycle feels far closer to my natural circadian rhythm. Is orgasm the best feeling a human can get, or doing drugs beat it? Best feeling is finally getting to the toilet when you've been bursting for a piss. I've never stolen copper from people's houses so I could bust a nut. Till after John Ruffo was convicted and sentenced to 17 years in prison, his bail was set at $10 million. Most of his immediate family put their houses up as collateral to make bail. Ruffo then disappeared and the homes of his wife, mother, mother-in-law, and others were seized by the government. And he's still on the run. I wonder what he's doing right now. Dude had a 10 million bond, but his reward, after 25 years of disappearance, is only 25,000. No wonder no one's found him. How many fucking houses did they have to total it up to 10 million? In April 2001, Ruffo was sighted in Duncan, Oklahoma, apparently visiting several community banks in an attempt to open an account so he could receive $250 million of wire transfers from Nigeria. Till Tolkien and C.S. Lewis hated Disney, with Tolkien branding Walt's movies as disgusting and hopelessly corrupted and calling him a cheat. If you read Tolkien's letters, you'll find he wasn't a fan of very many people. Tolkien was obsessed with fairy tales and folk stories. Disney often altered these stories to make their films. They wanted to make good entertainment, so they changed a lot of the underlying elements and sometimes the whole plot. I can 110% believe Tolkien had a negative opinion of them. He was also opinionated as hell. Tolkien didn't support the dumbed-down kid stories by Disney. His version of a book for kids was The Hobbit, which is still pretty whimsical despite the violence and struggle of good vs evil. Tolkien didn't enjoy film generally for what it's worth. I do not believe at all. Tolkien would never ever use only 4 words when describing a person. He will write 2 long poems, one in a language that he invented just for this, to explain in great detail all the ways he hated the other person. Till a man missing nearly 30 years was found alive and living just 80 miles away from where he disappeared after he helped solve his own disappearance by telling a social worker he had a flashback and remembered his name. He had reportedly suffered major memory loss due to a head injury. Wow, I'm so glad his mother is still alive to find out the truth. How do you just restart your life with no identity in a situation like that? Like you just show up and everyone's like, don't worry, that's no memory Joe. He's good people. Let him register his car and pay his taxes under whatever name he likes. Seeing a lot of comments about how he was never found, had a sibling missing for a decade. Police are just not invested in looking for adults who disappear unless the circumstances are very clearly criminal. No crime scene. Not evading arrest. Individual had a reason, any reason, even a botch one, to want to start over somewhere else. Well, that's none of my business. Tale of Kurt Gerstein, a Nazi officer who tried to alert the world of the Holocaust while it was happening by sending detailed reports to Swedish, Swiss, Dutch, and Catholic officials. These were largely ineffective and he died by suicide in 1945. Well, that's pretty depressing, isn't it? Ineffective as in didn't prevent it, or ineffective as it didn't see more widespread reporting. While it certainly didn't receive the widespread attention it should have, Swedish diplomats knew from January 1942 what was going on and Swedish media did detailed reporting on it throughout 1942. Swedish media may have been largely irrelevant, but I have no doubts these news reports did not escape complete notice by the Allies and their intelligence any more than reports coming from anywhere else. Till there are over 1,000 homes in Edinburgh, Scotland that nobody has lived in for over 10 years. The most common reason is a reclusive homeowner passing away and nobody realizing they've inherited the property. Who is paying taxes/utilities for those 10 years? I was in the Bahamas a while back and saw tons of these beautiful homes covered with overgrowth and expensive cars in their gated drives on all 4 flats. Nothing touched for years. I always assumed this was the case. I can't stand to see an empty house. The banks will take a house away from someone who's 2 months late and then let it sit empty for 3 years. Disgusting. Till that at 15, Cara Robinson was kidnapped and assaulted by a serial killer for 18 hours. She managed to escape after manipulating him to feel at ease. She later helped police to capture him because she had memorized details of her surroundings. She was later in a criminal justice lecture where the speaker brought up her case not knowing she was in attendance. Picking me was the biggest mistake he ever made. Whoa, that's badass. Reading his doctor's names off the fridge was really bright. That's a badass 15-year-old right there. She escaped a harrowing situation and came after his ass. That takes courage, a cool head and cunning. I hope she's doing a lot better now. Till Ben Stiller developed the premise for Tropic Thunder while shooting Empire of the Sun. He wanted to make a film based on the actors he knew who became self-important and appeared to believe they had been part of a real military unit after taking part in boot camps to prepare for war film roles. He skewered everybody, producers, directors, authors, asterisk I don't know what it's called. I only know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life asterisk. I don't drop character till I've done the DVD commentary. He would also give the notes he got back from the studio to Bill Hader for his character to say as lines in the movie. They got less notes after that happened a few times. Pump your brakes kid, the man's a national treasure. Till that Weird Al's Phantom Menace parody The Saga Begins was recorded a month before the film released in May 1999. Yankovic was denied an early screening by Lucasfilm, but managed to almost exactly piece together the plot by researching rumors posted on Star Wars fan forums. In fact, in order to check his work before the films, and the songs, release, Weird Al attended a $500 a ticket charity pre-screening. The song's lyrics were almost completely spot on, and only needed a few minor alterations. Running with Scissors was the first Weird Al album that was released when I was a kid old enough to buy my own CDs and I absolutely loved it. Weird Al is a national treasure. Till about Roger Fisher, a Harvard Law School professor who proposed putting the US nuclear codes inside a person, so that the president has no choice but to take a life to activate the country's nuclear weapons. Imagine being the person, the president needs to see you in his office. This scenario will be featured in Saw 14. Secret Service, please cut this man open while I go in the next room, thanks. When I suggested this to friends in the Pentagon, they said, my God, that's terrible. Having to kill someone would distort the president's judgment. He might never push the button. Imagine F.D. Roosevelt chasing you around on his wheelchair brandishing a katana and screaming, I need the codes. Till in 2001, a Yakuza mob boss named Tadamasa Goto gave a $100,000 donation to UCLA. In exchange, they gave him a liver transplant, allowing him to jump the queue. That same year, 186 people in the Los Angeles area died while waiting for a liver transplant. The FBI was also involved. Till the op watched Tokyo Vice on HBO. Steve Jobs did the same thing despite not meeting the transplant criteria. Though, his donation was in the tens, edited from hundreds, apologies, of millions range. He also bought a house for the surgeon. Did they give him 186 livers? Because if not, 185 of those people were still gonna die waiting for one. HBO has a show called Tokyo Vice that is centered around this. Despite the spoiler, it's worth watching. In Japan, liver surgeon. Number 1 index pointing up, steady hand raising hands. One day Yakuza boss need new liver. I do operation. But. Mistake. Yakuza boss die. Yakuza very mad. I hide fishing boat. Come to America. No English, no food, no money. Daryl give me job. Now I have house, American car, and new woman. Daryl save life. My big secret, I kill Yakuza boss on purpose. I good surgeon. The best. Thumbs up light skin tone, thumbs up light skin tone. Like and subscribe.